Do you ever hit record and you instantly just feel really overwhelmed, maybe a little bit nervous, and like you're not really sure how to talk to the camera when you're filming? Well, I'm really excited because today I'm going to be giving you my top tips on how to be super confident in front of the camera. Now this first tip might seem a little bit obvious, but the first thing that I would say to do is one, act like you're speaking to one person. And better yet, act like you're speaking to your best friend or your mom or someone that you love, just someone that you're really close to, and talk to them like you're talking to a friend. It makes it way less intimidating. Instead of thinking about all of the different people that are probably gonna see this video, think about one person and act like you're just sitting down, chatting with a friend, and your camera is kind of like your friend. Another thing that I think is really, really helpful is making sure you're writing in outline. This is really great for when you're filming, and I even have an outline right now sitting right next to my camera. It's really helpful for when you're talking in front of the camera, so instead of trying to think about everything that you need to say and trying to remember it all, you have it all written out right in front of you. And by no means am I saying you have to write everything out word for word, but just having like a basic outline of what you want to talk about can be really, really helpful. So you make sure you're talking about all the points you want to talk about, make sure you're good to go, and all you have to think about is just talking in front of the camera, and you're not really thinking about what you have to say. So that's my next tip. It's just really helpful to write an outline, have all those outlines ready to go for all the videos you want to make when you sit down to film. The third thing I want to point out is remember that you can always edit out your mistakes. And I don't want you to take this and think that you need to redo and re-say things over and over again, but if you do make a mistake, it's totally okay and it's totally easy to edit out when you're editing your video. And obviously, as much as you can, you want to make sure that you're just pressing through, and if you do stumble over your words, sometimes I think it's okay to just keep some of that in there and not always be redoing everything. It makes you feel a little bit more real, and it makes editing way, way easier and not take as long. But when you're first starting out, it's okay if you do a little bit more editing, or if you need to edit out your mistakes or repeat things a few more times because you're not used to talking to in front of a camera, and that's totally okay. So just remember, you can always edit your mistakes, and you can always re-say things, and you can always pause and change how you say it, and it's totally okay to do that. The next tip I want to give you guys is probably a little bit more cliche and probably something you hear a lot, but it really is so true. And it's the more that you do it, the easier it gets. The more that you practice, the easier it is going to be to talk to in front of a camera. And I know this probably totally makes sense, right? The more that you do something, the better you're going to get at it, but this is especially true for when you're doing videos, is the more that you get used to talking in front of a camera, the easier it's going to be for you. And even me, when I look back at some of my first videos on YouTube, it makes me cringe so hard because I feel like I can just see how uncomfortable I am. I'm not used to talking in front of a camera. I am super nervous and afraid to just be myself and open up a little bit. So it's okay if that's how you start out. Everyone starts out somewhere, and it's totally okay if that is the beginning of your video journey and that you're not totally comfortable with it yet. The more you practice, the more videos you make, the more that you put yourself out there, the better you're gonna get at it, and the more you do it, the faster you will get better at it. So just keep pushing forward, keep pressing forward, keep practicing, and you can do it, and it's going to get easier the more that you do it. Another tip that's just super practical, super easy to implement is to smile. And you'll notice that I do a lot of smiling when I'm talking in front of a camera, because when you're talking to a camera, it makes people feel way more engaged with you and what you're saying if you're smiling as you're saying it. And another tip I want to give you here is to make sure you smile before you say something. So if I'm about to start a new sentence or a new little section of a video, I would go and then start talking again. And then once you finish saying something, you just finish with a smile. Like that. And I know that seemed really awkward. It's probably gonna be really awkward whenever I go back and edit that, but it really does help. And it helps too that you're not just starting out your sentence like this. Okay guys, so now we're going to, it just feels a little bit more engaging. It's naturally, if you're talking to someone, you're probably gonna smile a lot while you're talking. So it's super important to just smile, makes you feel more engaging, and when people are watching, there's gonna be more engaged with what you're saying. The last thing I want to say here is to make sure that you're being yourself. And I know this is also kind of cliche and probably something you hear a lot, but it truly does show if you're trying to be someone that you're not when you're talking to your camera. If you're using phrases that you normally wouldn't use in real life. If you normally don't say, "Hey girl," don't use that in your videos. If you never say, "Hey friends," don't use that in your videos. Or if you usually don't talk a certain way or use certain words, don't talk a certain way just because you see other YouTubers doing it, or you see other people talking that way, or you think it makes you sound better. Just be yourself, really. It really does make a difference, and just talk how you normally would talk to a friend. Again, kind of going back to that first tip of act like you're talking to one person, and act like that one person is a really good friend of yours. And how would you talk to them? How would you explain things to them? How would you say certain things? Think about that as you're filming your videos, and just keep it super casual and really true to who you are and how you would actually say things. And also recognize that you don't want to build a following based on someone that you're not. And if you're literally trying to portray yourself in a certain way or talk in a certain way that's just not you, you're gonna have people following along for that. It's not gonna feel as genuine, so you're probably not gonna get as many people following along. The people aren't going to actually be following you for your personality and who you are, and that your personality is so unique, so let it show across camera. And if you say things in certain ways or do things in certain ways, it's okay to portray that. And in fact, I think it's even better because it's genuine to you and it's super unique from anyone else, which is only gonna help you stand out even more. Hit subscribe on my channel if you liked this video and give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions about this topic, feel free to drop them down below. I would love to just brainstorm with you guys and give you guys even more tips on how to do this and how to be more confident in front of the camera. And I really just want to encourage you guys, if you want to make video content and this is holding you back, I want to encourage you guys just to go for it. It totally is completely worth it. I absolutely love making videos. It's so much fun, and I promise that you'll have a blast too. And I can't wait to share more with you guys next time. Bye guys.